should shows always have a 20 episode order? You know, you have all these filler episodes that really provide no direction or push into the actual main storylines that you're kind of wondering, well, maybe this could have all been summed up in 15 episodes. Yeah. Or 10 episodes.
And, I mean, speaking of this, how many episodes were there? Like 13, or was it, I don't even know, but...
It was definitely, it was definitely more than the first season, for sure. Yeah. And, you know, they did, I mean, like, no offense, the musical episode was just...
Oh, it was so useless.
It was useless, and it was a guilty pleasure thing, and it was more of an opportunity for them to showcase the fact that they have actors and singers.
But it was not necessary, right? It's the same thing I felt about Supergirl.
It wasn't necessary, other than the fact that the last maybe 2 minutes pushed the series, you know, pushed the storyline a bit, but everything else in that hour was just
nothing.
Yeah, it was just filler.
And I wanted to talk about there was so much things going on. So the Black Mass story was so tiring to watch. We didn't. There were some points where I was like, "Did we get him? Did we not get him? Like, what is going on with this guy? Is it really?"
When the first Black Hood was revealed, it turned out to be Mr. Svensson, who was the high school janitor. But then it turned out that, like, it
wasn't just one guy.
Surprise plot twist! It's not him. And then it turned out to be Hal Cooper. But then in another surprise plot twist, it turns out that Hal Cooper is just one of them, the many Black Hoods.
So technically there's 3 Black Hoods, and we still don't know who, like, the third one is.
I think maybe there's only 2. I think Svensson was more of a decoy than anything. I don't think he actually did any sort of criminal, you know, thing that, you know, Hal might have done.
And the other thing that I wanted to bring up too was, okay, the lodges they were getting ridiculous. Like, it was sometimes painful to watch the way they were written. Like, Mark Consuelos, dude, man, like, he's a cool guy, and I like him in different things, but I don't know, I wasn't feeling him in here.
I actually liked him here, you know, just because I think I think for me, out of all the characters, it's like, yes, this is Riverdale, and, like, this is a small town. Would a small town really have a mob boss? Probably not. But he's still one of the characters that kind of help keep the story going, because he's a long-term antagonist, whereas Black Hood and Chick, you know, they are very temporary. They're more temporary antagonists per season. Yeah. Kind of like how the antagonist for the first season was Cheryl Blossom's dad. I think to have, you know, Hiram Lodge there as kind of the main big bad in the series, you know, that might also kind of help shift or move things along.
Because with me, I kind of just... how Smallville, like, you know, did it, where Lex Luthor was there forever. He was the guy. He knew they were going to milk this guy because he was the biggest villain in Superman's life in a daily sense. I mean, I was feeling that already with Daddy Lodge, but the thing about him is then they put all these other storylines. Everything felt hurried to me, you know? So I just kind of wish, I mean, I'm no writer myself, but I'm sure they could have done something where it didn't feel so hurried, and maybe it was just because of the fact that there was so many villains and so many dark storylines just coming out of nowhere all the time.
And I think that goes back to the point where maybe what would have helped, you know, make the season move a little bit better is to just maybe stick to one main storyline. Because it just seemed like 3 different storylines dragged into one season, which for me, it just felt like a little much.
Yeah, like I thought the whole Papa Poutine thing was kind of like, all right, so sure, that happened.
Well, you just realize that there's so many characters that you end up forgetting that you didn't realize that they were actually in the episode, or that they made any sort of
big
impact.
Significance. Yeah. So did you like the season finale of season 2?
I did. I mean, it ended on a cliffhanger, which, you know, is always good to draw me in, because I'm kind of just like, well, I didn't really like it, but I'll probably end up watching it again.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of our guilty pleasures to watch. And you know what, with me, I stopped watching it as a let's sit down and maybe have a beer or wine and watch it. It's more kind of like let's watch something while we're having dinner kind of show. But I know that what makes Riverdale still watchable for you, Cyrille, is our DILF list. Not my DILF list. I'm saying generically DILF list. And we're going to count them down to 5. And first, we're going to start off from the worst to the best daddy of the show. 5th being Daddy Lodge, to me, only because, as I said, I felt like you could have milked his storyline a little bit more, make him a little bit more complex, but he's number 5 on the list. Number 4 would have to be Daddy Cooper, because, I mean, he was the Black Hood, for God's sakes, you know. That's kind of the worst. The one that I'm kind of like, he's redeemed himself or whatever. If I had beef with him before, Daddy Keller. Daddy Keller's not bad now, you know. Like, he's trying to save the town, and there's this new sheriff. And as I said, this is where we're going to go into the conversation with the rogue gallery that Mark Consuelos' character is trying to form at the very end of the season 2 conclusion episode. Is he's trying to basically build like a Gotham style rogues gallery with Lady Blossom, who's going to be in charge of some sort of whorehouse.
So so the one of the reveals for the end of the season is you know, Mr. Lodge, he's going to be running this kind of seedy underground crime syndicate in Riverdale, all based out of the White Worm, which was originally the Serpent's hideaway and bar. Mm-hmm. And you had drugs being, drugs kind of being sold by the Ghoulies and Penny Peabody, and you had Mrs. Blossom running some sort of brothel. And then you also had Cheryl's uncle, who is revealed to be the twin brother of her
so
dad,
ridiculous,
to, run another part of the kind of crime syndicate. So there's definitely something brewing in Riverdale for sure that will probably be revealed in season 3.
And our 2 top dads, of course, number 2 is Daddy Andrews, because he's still trying to do right by his son, even though his son was actually kind of a dick for being more of Daddy Lodge's right-hand man than supporting his dad in the first half of season 2. And I kind of thought, I'm like, Jesus Christ, if Archie was my son, I'd be livid with him. But that's just how understanding Fred Andrews is. And unfortunately, he doesn't make it. It was the mayor race was between him and Mrs.
Hermione.
Yeah, Hermione. And Hermione won. And Fred Andrews 0. But that's okay. I think we know what there was a reveal with Mommy Lodge, right, at the very end.
Not so much a reveal, but we find out that the reason why Hiram had Hermione as the main kind of spotlight as the person to run for mayor versus him was he was essentially just trying to distract Hermione to kind of not be involved with the kind of criminal stuff that he was doing, because obviously Hermione is sticking by her husband as much as she can, but I think that there are still definitely some things that she doesn't know about Hiram.
Yeah, she's in the dark for a lot of these things that I guess we should know by season 3. And of course, Cyrille's favorite daddy is Daddy Jones.
I think he's just great. I mean, Skeet, I've already told you how much I love you, so...
That's right. So that's the redeeming part of Riverdale, is that we've got some really, really great characters to still stay tuned with. Cyrille, I mean, if you were to rewrite Riverdale in some sort of thing, like, what would you change?
I would just do a flashback episode. I've been wanting to do a flashback episode with the parents for a while to see how they were like in high school.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd definitely be something I'd want to explore. for sure.
And, like, I kind of want to see this relationship between Betty's mom and Jughead's dad. I just want to know, like, how the hell that happened and how it ended.
Yeah.
And, I mean, apparently didn't Archie's dad and Veronica's mom had a thing too?
Yep, they dated briefly, and then she ended up going for the richer guy.
So obviously the little Riverdale apples don't fall far from the tree there. So that would be really cool. So CW people, if you are listening, that's the episode we want. And Cyrille, are we going to continue watching season 3? I think I'm still going to.
I'm going to continue, but with a little bit more hesitance to it.
Yeah, cool. Well, this is Joey from Comic Sync signing off.
This is Cyrille.
Bye, guys.
Do you want to hear more from Comic Sync? Show us some love. Patreon.com/Comic Sync. See you soon.